In this painting, literally nothing is happening. And yet, people stand in front of it for ages. Because the longer you look, the more questions appear in your head. Who is this woman? What does she do? What kind of life creates a room like that? So let's try to follow those questions to see where they lead us. So let's find out by starting at where Hammershøi lived, because these rooms are not imagined. They are the rooms he actually lived in. His apartments were his studio. Most famously, the apartments at Strandgade in Copenhagen. He even specifically chose those apartments to depict them in his paintings. And he did so again and again. The same rooms, the same doors, the same light. Doors line up like architectural drawings. Floorboards pull the eye forward. Sunlight becomes a shape, almost a construction. You can also see that Hammershøi was very interested in photography, which was still a relatively new medium at the time. The angles, the way they are cropped, it enhances the small things we are not normally paying attention to. And inside these rooms, there's a woman. Most often, you cannot see her face. You only see her from behind. Her name was Ida, and she was Hammershøi's wife. Vilhelm and Ida lived together, they traveled together. Unlike many artist couples of their time, they were rarely apart. And Ida becomes more than just a figure in a room. She's always doing something, or almost doing something. She always seems to be in an apparent action, but never really in an action, is how famous author Florian Illis described it. We actually don't know what's going on. She could be lost in thought. She could be writing a letter. Maybe she is lonely, or maybe she's perfectly content. That uncertainty is not accidental. Hammershøi stops the scene just before it becomes a story, right at the moment where something could begin. He gives us just enough to look at, and then he stops. After looking at the painting for a while, I realized something. I really want to know. I especially want to know Ida. What is she thinking right now, in this room and in this moment? Is she happy? Does she know Vilhelm is watching her? It's almost uncomfortable, that desire to know, because we are built to read people. We do it constantly and automatically. Facial expressions, posture, small gestures. That's how we understand the people around us. So when Hammershøi shows us this person and withholds everything that would normally help us read her face, her movement, her story, that need to know kicks in immediately. But it doesn't stop there. It's not just Ida that stays open. The room itself stays open. Those empty corners, the open doors, everything feels unfinished. And the marriage, they were almost never apart, and yet she always has her back to him. Is this supposed to feel distant or intimate? Even Hammershøi himself becomes a question. He chose these rooms, he chose this woman again and again. What did he feel standing behind her, brush in hand? Since we are so trained to solving things and to make progress, our mind immediately tries to close the scene. Everything in me wanted to finish this story. Normally, when I don't understand something, I tend to very quickly move on, like a lot of us probably. But here I didn't, and I wonder if it's the same for you. I kept looking at the woman, at those empty corners. Somehow the painting doesn't let you go, so we stay a little longer. We look again at the doors, as if one of them might finally lead somewhere, but they only open into another quiet space. Even the windows don't resolve anything. They let in light, but they don't tell us anything about the world outside. The rooms are also strangely bare. The furniture is carefully arranged, and there are no personal traces. Nothing here tells us anything about the people who live here. So there's no moment where everything suddenly clicks. The questions simply remain open. And the longer you sit with that, the clearer something becomes. Hammershøi doesn't want to answer these questions. He wants to keep them open. Because as long as they stay open, we stay engaged. So Hammershøi quietly trains us to leave something unresolved. We are forced to sit with uncertainty instead of bypassing it. And while we do that, something happens. We stop focusing only on the image and instead begin noticing ourselves while looking. What am I projecting? What am I trying to complete here? And what does that say about me? And with that, the painting suddenly opens up a whole new layer. So the painting doesn't just show a quiet interior. It actually shows something else. The way we look, the stories we immediately begin to invent, the meaning we try to impose. In the end, this painting is not about a room. It's much more about us. You can draw a parallel between the way Hammershøi paints and the way his life appears to us. We know where he lived. We know he and Ida were almost always together. We know their work traveled and lived in the same few spaces. But beyond that, the record stays thin. Ida never resolves into a character. Hammershøi's life never resolves into a story. Both remain open in exactly the same way his paintings do. And I'm going to steal a very apt ending for this story from British actor Michael Palin. He said, "I think the key to understanding Hammershøi is that he deliberately didn't want us to know him. He was an artist. He made paintings. The rest is silence."